Backs turn, Origi turn, shoots!
Build the dream in FIFA 20, pay less and get more, and use the code TVM at checkout for a bigger discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to the road to glory. 3 games of Foot Champs to go through, and then we are going to hit still some gameplay. I'm just going to run through it very quickly. Some squad battles, because I wasn't planning on playing any more squad battles. I was going to hit gold 3 or gold 2 or something. But it turns out that the icon swaps requires you to do certain things with squad battles. And I wasn't in the mood for Foot Champs last night. I've still got time to do it. I'm going to stream today. By the time you're watching this, chances are I'm either about to go live or I am already live over on a certain purple-coloured website. So feel free to join me over there for probably some rage. And then when I edit the gameplay and commentate it tomorrow, I will be 100% calm and will see things completely differently to how I do on stream. The top comment from a guy I can't pronounce the name of. I'm going to call you Abdul, because that's the first part of your name. Thank you very much for your comment, my friend. I'm not quite sure whether this was not a dig necessarily, but let's just read it. So, like I already said, I'm upset that they didn't bring the content, but they communicated towards us. It'll be out soon. Yeah. It did come out, I would say, fairly soon after they obviously failed to release it. We need a lot of time to complete the tokens to get the icons, so a couple of hours doesn't matter. And I 100% agree. If you go look at my Twitter, I say basically exactly the same thing around, I thought, what time was it? About 6:30, 7 o'clock, which was about 30 to 60 minutes after the non-content. So in the video, it seems like I'm coming across as like, I can't believe they've done this and that's it for me, I'm done, this game is outrageous. I was annoyed for content purposes, that's all, because I just wanted to be able to put it in the title, and I wanted to be able to talk about it, and then for people to come and join, and for non-Road to Glory people to click the video and maybe get interested in the Road to Glory. That's the frustration coming through on a content creator side of things. It was nothing to do with EA have messed up again. I didn't, like I said in the tweet. I actually posted 2 tweets on Twitter when EA posted their communication saying that they were having problems. Everyone, and I mean every single person answering that comment or that tweet, was criticising, another EA cock up. You've had weeks to do this, blah blah blah. Now, obviously, just by myself, I was thinking that, but I was thinking, do you know what? They've actually communicated. My tweet was, on a positive note, thanks for the communication. I don't think anybody else wrote that, or maybe 1 or 2 people did, but it got buried in the sea of toxicity. So, I am grateful that EA have obviously communicated, because I tweeted that as soon as they did. And immediately after that tweet, I posted, people are moaning that we don't have the content, but all you're gonna do is log on, look at the objectives, realize you can't get the player that you want for another 6 weeks, and then log off again. So why are people so upset about it? Now, obviously, in a way, it was a little bit of a dig, thinking that we were gonna have to wait ages behind a time wall for EA to release certain tokens. In a way, we are going to, but you can still go and get icons right now. And I honestly, we'll go into it in more detail in a bit, but I actually think it's very good. And I wasn't necessarily annoyed at EA for cocking it up. It was just, I was upset that I couldn't put it in the title properly and I couldn't talk about it properly. It was kind of, I based the episode around it and it didn't come out and it kind of screwed things up for me. So I was a bit angry on that score. But obviously I'm over it now. We take things in jest and with a pinch of salt. So don't even worry about it. So obviously there's a lot of people talking about icon swaps. And I will get to that. But I don't want to talk about it right now. So Hakim B says, that is not Spanish. And you're right, it's not Spanish, it's French. But guess what? I don't speak either of those languages. So how was I to know? How is that not a penalty? I don't know. I mean, for another side of that argument, why is Tolisso in the penalty area? He's meant to be a CDM staying. He's on drop between the defenders. He's in the penalty area going for goal. I'm using a 4-5-1, and I was going to go through the formation and instructions, but to be honest, I think I'm going to move away from it already. And the only reason why, because I love the formation 4-5-1 and the instructions that I have on my players, they are, it's overpowered, man. It really is. The amount of bodies that I get forward, and the amount of people that we get in the midfield to pack it out and win the ball back is sensational with the certain instructions. And I will show you, why not, right? But the CDM, so in this case it's Tolisso, just does not stay back no matter what you do. Now, he's got a high attacking work rate, Tolisso, so I thought to myself, maybe a CDM with a high defensive work rate would want to stay back. So I went out and bought one, and you'll see who that is in just a second. I may have shown you, I don't think I did show you yesterday because I bought him last night. But either way, I went out and bought a CDM with a high defensive work rate. Cost me a large amount of coins, so you can probably guess who it is. But even that doesn't work, and he still ventures forward. So it all comes down to the single instruction that I have of the amount of players that I want in the penalty area for an attack. So I can't change that because that's the kind of whole point of the attack. That there aren't necessarily instructions on certain players to get into the box, but because we have that setting of players into the box up to about 8 or 9, which is nearly full, it just pushes my CDM forward, and there is nothing I can do to get him back. So if I could keep my CDM back and override the instruction of all the players in the box, it would be the perfect system. We have loads of people coming back on defence, and we have loads of people going forward for the attack, and we pack out the midfield. But unfortunately, when I've got my CDM in the penalty area calling for a pass, it's like, eh. So the CDM in question, by the way, is, drumroll, it's going to be Axel Witsel. And that is essentially the lineup, right? So a 4-5-1, and it just works. You know, you've got Bernardo Silva and Perisic cutting inside. They also come back on defence, but they're also set to get in behind. So they bomb forward when you've got the ball, but they come back straight away when you lose it. They've both got insanely high stamina, so that they can do that constantly throughout the game. Pla is my striker, but he acts like Roberto Firmino when he just comes back on defence. And then the two cams are essentially strikers. They bomb forward, but again, they do come back and defend. So normally we've got a 6 or 7 man midfield, and then as soon as we get the ball, 4 of them are strikers. I've hit my microphone. We get Pla being the facilitator, but then he does get up as well. It's just so effective, and this is the squad battles gameplay that we're going to go through. Just very simple stuff. I think I give you a little indication of what we're going for here. So the Golden Battles is the first token that I decided to tackle because it was essentially just win 6 games with an 83 rated squad on world class difficulty or higher. Now we already have an 83 rated squad because that's what my team is. And once to watches and informs and foot champs cards and all the rest of it, they all count as just standard gold cards. So we get away with just using the team that we have. I took Cavani off the bench, and that brought it down to an 83. Happy days. All I did then was just smash out 6 games on squad battles, and I managed to accumulate the token, which was nice. Louis Charles says, will you buy the Inform Radecki? I think so. I think I probably will do that. I mean, he's only, 25k, which is a very good price point for an 85 rated goalkeeper. The first token player is actually Peter Schmeichel for the icons. I mean, only really super impatient people will do that, or people with only 6 tokens left will do that. I'm not going to be one of those people, so I think Radecki could be a sensible choice. And we've put it off long enough now. We're into the live portion of the video. We're going to talk about icon swaps and, you know, I think what players I want to go for, I think, because there are... First off, let's address the elephant in the room, right? So they've given us 12 tokens, but we have to wait for... Let's go look at the players first, right? So they've given us 12 tokens between now and the end of Season 1, so 26, 27 days. That's how long we have before they release another 12 tokens. So you have to wait that long, bare minimum, to get any player in the icon swaps that is valued at 12 tokens or higher. So that would be... Miroslav Klose is the sort of end player that you can get for the amount of tokens available right now. Go and complete everything that they dropped yesterday, and you have Miroslav Klose and anything below. So Crespo, Kluivert, Carlos, etc., etc., right? If you want Ballack, you've got to complete everything that they've released already, and then you have to wait for the next set and complete 2 of those, then you have your Ballack. Now, before I talk about anything else and what I think about icon swaps, that is annoying as hell. Because, okay, there are, Balak and Roy Keane in particular is a sensational card. His agility is a touch on the annoying side, but the rest of that card is brilliant. People have seen moaning about the defensive awareness. Just give him a chem star, boost it to 90, job done. And you've got it. I mean, that's an end game CDM that you can keep in there till literally the end of the game. So, you've got a card there that's, 15 tokens? So you've got to do all this, do 3 of the next set, and you can have him in about 30 days, I would say, because it might take you a couple of days to do the 3 that you need. But yeah, that in 30 days you could say, well, I'm going to get that card. I will have that card in 30 days. So I suppose that's a good thing. But at the same time, I think if you're a hardcore player and you're a grinder of this game, then you will get those 12 tokens inside of a week. And okay, not everyone's going to be able to do that, but you then have to wait 2 weeks or longer. Thinking about it, you'll have to wait nearly 20 days in order to get the other tokens you need. And say you really want just Roy Keane, you need 3 tokens past what they've given you, and you have to wait 17 days past completing them to get it. Now, because you have to wait that long, you could just space it out and do it over the 27 days and just do a little bit here or there and not stress yourself. But if you just love grinding things, then yeah, it's frustrating. So I'm not happy about that one thing, right? And all the negativity you're going to hear from me today, I'm not happy that they've locked off 12 tokens for future release. I don't understand the point of it. It doesn't make any sense. You're going to release it eventually, so why not just release it now? You've already said, yeah, in 27 days we'll release it. Why 27 days? What's so significant about those 27 days? Why are you putting Michael Ballack behind a 27-day wall? There is absolutely no reason for it whatsoever. None. Literally none. I mean, that card there, no one's going to do Perlo, realistically at least. It's a good card, actually. I wouldn't mind doing it, but why is that behind a fit? What justifies Perlo compared to Keane or Rivaldo? I've not seen one person mention, oh, I'm going to get Rivaldo. Ian Wright looks good. I've seen a lot of people criticise Rio Ferdinand, but then when they look at his stats, they're like, oh, actually, he's not that bad. So, yeah, Rui Costa, there's a lot here that, and him, if anyone does this, you are silly. You are a silly Billy, because he has 58 composure. I don't care whether you think composure does anything. 58 composure for an 89 rated icon is unbelievable. I mean, surely he wasn't that nervous in games. Anyway, so that's the only complaint that I realistically have. They've got a few of the pricings a little bit like Drogba, right? Okay, he's stupidly expensive, and he is a new icon, but why is he 23 tokens? Let me just look at the card. Why is he 23 tokens? Like, maybe it's just me, right? I'm not a Chelsea fan, so that might be the reason why. If you're a Chelsea fan, you might be like, oh my god, I can actually get this card for free. And kudos to EA for putting such an expensive card available as a redeemable reward anyway, right? You can get this card for free, which is brilliant. But why is he that expensive? I don't understand that at all. Like, last year, sure, he would have been a mammoth. This year, I don't think he'd be that great. I mean, he'd be good, obviously, but will he be that great? That card will be fantastic. And he's 3 tokens less. So, yes, it's a weird one. So, in terms of the ones that I want to go for, this set has a lot of good players in it, and the players that I wouldn't mind getting. The major ones I think people are going to expect me to want to go for are going to be, I just went back all through this, Steven Gerrard and Michael Owen, right? Now, Michael Owen is 20 tokens, and for me personally, I was on the fence about Michael Owen anyway, because of his, outside of football really, he just puts me off. I'm not a fan of him, and it makes me not want him, and it's stupid because we're just talking about a card in FIFA, but it does, I can't help it. Steven Gerrard is a great card, and it's only the mid version, so you still have the prime and the moments to come. I don't think that's not the prime, is it? That's the mid one. Skinhead Gerrard is the mid one. I think. Yeah. I think it is. Let me search it up while I talk about it. The annoying thing for me here is that it's just, it is the mid one. The 91 is the prime, and then of course we are going to get a Moments on top of that, but remains to be seen when that drops and how good that'll be, etc. But either way, that's a great card, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go a little bit different this year. We had Gerrard last year, of course. I wouldn't mind getting him at some point, and I know that this is my only opportunity to do it for free, but, in the future, who knows, we may pack Ronaldo and get the coins required. I doubt it, but still, you never know. So I'm not going to do Gerrard, and I'm not going to do Owen. I don't like Drogba, too expensive for me. Hadji doesn't really appeal to me. Would be a sensational card, but doesn't appeal to me personally. Butragueno is actually a card that I really want, but if I'm going to do 19 tokens, I might as well get Steven Gerrard. This card is going to be phenomenal. I think Hadji is better, incidentally. If you get Hadji, who's only an extra token, he would be basically the same as Butragueno, but with much better passing, and with a Hunter, would have better finishing, and would be as quick, if not quicker. So Hadji, in my opinion, is better than Butragueno. But, each to their own. What has he got? 5-star weak foot, 3-star skills. What does Hadji have? 4-star, 4-star. I would probably take Hadji, to be fair. Just get Hadji. There's no point getting him because you're only going to be left with 5 tokens anyway. So just get Hadji if you go in for Butragueno. Icon base pack. We don't care about that, obviously. Don't care about him. I can't justify doing 17 tokens on a right back. Not that I'm saying he's a bad card, I just don't want him. Rui Costa's been ruined for me because he was so cheap, and he was the first available icon for the last 2 years, and it's been oversaturated, even though he's probably a great card, and yeah, he's decent, but for me, he's been ruined by how available he was in the last 2 FIFAs very early on. Rio Ferdinand's good, but not for me. And then we come to the card that I think I'm going to do. Ian Wright. I grew up watching this guy. I'm not an Arsenal fan. However, I can appreciate talent when I see it. And Ian Wright is that. 92 finishing, 88 composure, 87 reactions. Very quick, very good stamina, decent heading just in case. And of course, we can boost the dribbling, the balance. And then happy days, we've got ourselves a 4-star weak foot. Brilliant. Striker. Medium work rates, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm gonna look past it. I'm happy with it. That's a card I want. So my 16 tokens will go on Ian Wright, and I'm certain about that. I did have there were a few schools of thought on it. Ian Wright was probably one of the top ones, so I think I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna go for him. The other option was Roy Keane. I mentioned him in the beginning of the video. Roy Keane would be a great CDM, but if I do Roy Keane, I'm left with 9 tokens, and then who else do you get for 9 tokens, Nesta? Yeah, those are the two. Nesta and Keane were the 2 options, but I'm not bothered about my centre-backs. I actually quite like the centre-backs I have already, and we can naturally upgrade those to better ones in-game. I'm not too concerned. So I think I'm going to go for Ian Wright, which is 16 tokens. That will leave me with, 8 tokens? So what can we get for 8 tokens? Okocha or Guardiola. Now, I'm not a fan of Guardiola in real life. I think he's very overrated. We won't get into my personal views for that, but he is the player I'm going to choose because he's a very good CDM, and he is as good as Axel Witsel in terms of the defensive side of his game. He's got very good composure and reactions. We can boost those as well. He's not a slow guy, and he has a high defensive work rate. So Guardiola is going to be the player that I pick up, and Ian Wright is going to be the other player that I pick up. Now, we are going to have to wait a month to get Ian Wright. I'm not just going to go and pick up Guardiola when I get the tokens for him and then grind to get Wright, because we'll be waiting for Wright for God knows how long. Now, Guardiola is the player that I want initially, but that might change to JJ Okocha, because that card off the bench would be very, very good. So at the moment, Guardiola would be good, but if he doesn't fit into the team in the next, I would probably say 40 to 45 days. Oh God, I have to wait that long to get an 85 rated icon that I don't really care about. Great. But either way, if in 40 days we decide, oh, okay, he's actually not going to get in the team anymore, I'll go for JJ Okocha, because he will be a good super sub. Even 4 months down the line, he'll be a good super sub. So it's okay. Either one of those will be in the club at some point, but I think Ian Wright is going to be the guy that I go for. Because if you think about it, right, if I get Roy Keane, yeah, okay, Roy Keane is a good player. We can get him 1 token quicker than Ian Wright, and he will go into the CDM role. And as I said, he will be there for the rest of the year, not a problem. But then if we ever do get Steven Gerrard, we can't play them both together realistically. I mean, we can, but I'm not going to. So yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I think my mind's made up. You know, I want Ian Wright. He's one of the people who, when they announced him, I was like, you know what, I really want that card at some point. And he's sort of a 90s legend for me. So I want, for that reason, that's why I want him. So we are going to go after Ian Wright. Now, I've already completed one objective, which is the icon swap single player. And the one that I showed you and the one I was working towards. 6 of 6 overall, squad rating of 83, and obviously everything gold. I did that in one session. It wasn't that difficult. I literally was just playing the 2 teams, the 2 easier teams in the set of 4. If one of them was a little bit difficult, I put it on world class. That's why some of the points were only 1008. Obviously, I didn't show you all the games because it gets a little bit boring. Just showed you some of the ones with some of the goals in. I think I played 3 of them on legendary, and I played 3 of them on world class, or 4 and 2, or whatever it was. But we are actually up quite highly now in squad battles. We're in gold 1. We're not too far off elite if we go up here. So there you can see we are 500 points off elite. Now, I could get elite this week. If I have time, I will definitely do that. I still have the featured squad to play, and I'm going to do that later tonight because there are a few objectives I can get knocked out in that. One of which is score volleys, and the other one is like loads of silver week 3 objectives. I can do all of them in that game. And then I think I'll probably play one more here. I mean, that's not a difficult team to play, but he does have icons on the bench. A couple of good players in there as well. I think I'll just put that on world class, get that done. Skip the opponent. How many refreshes have I got left? See, I've only got 2 more refreshes, but it should be enough. You know, I'll play the featured squad. That's 1,500 points. One of these games is another 1,500 to 1,800 points, and then all I have to do is maybe play one more on legendary, and we should be fine for elite. And then we'll have ourselves some elite rewards, which are going to be a mega pack, 2 25k packs, 12k coins, and we'll have our pre-order packs on Monday as well. So could be a good day. That is actually going to do it for today's episode. So in terms of the objectives for icon swaps, I like them. I think this is a great promo. Literally my only complaint is that they've said, yeah, you can have 12 now, but you've got to wait a month for the other 12. Just release all of them. Come on, stop being idiots. Just if I want to sit here with no sleep for 3 days and grind every single one and get them, and then be done and have to wait whatever it is 90 days for you to release the next icon set, so be it. At least, you know, I've done it unnaturally, and I've sat there and I've grinded my life away for 72 hours when realistically I could have spread it over the course of a month or something, and it would have been, you know, nice and easy, steady content. But there's no reason for you to drip feed. Just get it released. That's the only complaint that I have. I don't mind that these are quote unquote boring, as some people have been saying. Win 9 FUT Champions matches. A little bit irritating that I've started FUT Champions and it didn't count, but we still have to win 9 regardless, so that's not a problem. Win 3 Rivals matches using a full squad. Basically the same requirement as the squad battles, so that's my natural team anyway, so I just need to go and win 3 Rivals games with my team. Happy days, job, you know, more or less job done. And then of course we've got the annoying ones here, which is win 3 Rivals matches using 7 first owned Premier League players, and then of course they do the top 5 leagues. I don't mind that they're boring like that, and I don't have any complaints with them at all. I think it's quite fun. It will annoy a lot of people that they don't have enough first owner players, so they either have to go put FIFA points on, or they have to wait for rewards, etc. But guess what? We have 3 months, or whatever it is, to complete this. 69 days, I think it is, to complete this. So there's no rush, you know, because you can't get the icon you want anyway, can you? Because you've got to wait 27 days, 5 hours. But the single player ones, these are going to be a little bit testing, I suppose, but next week I'll tackle these. So win 5 squad battles matches on minimum world class difficulty using 11 MLS players in your starting squad. So that doesn't mean in your starting 11. It just means the whole bench has to be full MLS players, make up the numbers in the starting 11, and then put your players in on top of that. So you can still have your own players, like, or the whole bench essentially could be your own players, but you can start, if that makes sense, but you can start them. Same with the Dutch league and same with the Chinese league. So not the easiest, because a lot of people do find World Class challenging, but I think that's the whole point, right? It should be challenging. It should be a grind. It's a little bit unfair for the people who are actually bad at the game, who still want these cards, but you do have a long time to achieve this. And then, of course, finally, we have these. I wouldn't have minded a lot more of these. I don't mean a lot more of these to get one card, but a lot more of these to get, like, different cards, right? Or not necessarily just the icon swaps coupons or the tokens or whatever they're called. I wouldn't mind this sort of thing for other cards. So, for instance, score 20, play 20, assist 20, 20 clean sheets, and, a couple more, right? Discipline, 5 matches without getting booked, blah, blah, blah. Loads of different ones. And then the group reward is either a good pack or an 85 rated Gilavogui or something. How cool would that be? How cool would that be? It would, you're right. But that's not too bad. So I've already done that. Played 20 matches. I've got 6 done, obviously, for the squad battles. Scored 20 goals in rivals. I'm sure we'll do that because we have to play a lot of rivals for these objectives. These will take me a little while to do. I'm not going to lie to you. But I've got plenty of time to do them. And I'm not going to pick up Guardiola first. I'm going to wait to get Ian Wright first because I want to get him as soon as I can. So we'll have to wait a month, but we'll keep ticking these off, and I'll show you the progress towards them. Silver 3, one game more or less. Score a header in 3 separate matches. We've done it in 2 of 3. Yeah, score a volley in 3 separate matches. So I've done 1 of them already. Play and score in 5 matches, and then score a volley and a header in the same match. So I can knock out maybe 2 or 3 of those in the next game of squad battles that I'm going to do on beginner. And I think there's another icon swap related thing here. Maybe not. Is it this one? No. Maybe. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'll do this in the beginner game against the AI squad battles. Not a problem. So Axel Witsel purchase. We've sold Ricardo Pereira. We've sold a few of these things here. I can keep relisting and relisting and relisting until we sell all these bronze cards. They will sell eventually. No big deal. And that's it. I'm going to go continue with Foot Champs. That's the team. I've shown you that. I mean, in terms of instructions, I've already told you what happens. But the premise is that, right? So Witsel is the sole CDM. Werner and Brandt are the players that run round Pla, and they act as strikers essentially. Pla is come back on defence, but he's also getting behind, so he does come back and help out in the midfield, but then he does bomb forward as soon as we get the ball. Perisic and Bernardo Silva, they're on come back on defence, cut inside, and get in behind. They're contradictory instructions, but they work. They're always back on defence. They're always really far forward for attacks, and they come inside to pack the midfield as well. Schultz is on overlap but stay back while attacking. Again, a contradictory instruction, but he does make forward runs a lot easier if I need him to, but not until I tell him to. But as soon as I tell him to, he's gone. And it's a lot different when you've got overlap to not having overlap and telling him to go on a run. They are a little bit reluctant because of the stay back while attacking instruction, but yeah, when I tell him to, he'll really go. But if I don't tell him to, he will stay back. And yeah, that's essentially what it is. Get in the box for the cross is the only instruction on Werner, and that's why we have. I've toned it down to 7. That's it, because I did have it like up here, which is great. But the problem is, you've got everyone bombing forward, and then it leaves you so exposed at the back. I toned it down a little bit to hope that Axel Witsel would just calm his tits, but he's not doing it. He's just in the penalty area all the time, and it's costing me on the counter. So this formation, I think I'm only going to play when my opponent is, I would say, quite poor defensively, and we can literally just batter him. I've just noticed, though, that Boateng is off chem there. There you go. So that's what my plan was, and I didn't do it for some reason, but there it is. So yeah, that's the team, that's the plan. 4-1-2-2 is going to probably stay for now. We'll go into 3 at the back, and we'll go 4-5-1 if my opponent doesn't seem that great. But for the most part, at least, that's going to be the team for the rest of the Weekend League. There's a lot to do in the game now, despite the fact that we have to wait for certain players, etc. We still have to get these tokens, so we have to take untradeable rewards on Thursday to get double the packs, to get double the chance of packing the first owner players that we need. And I'm going to have to go and build certain squads for these objectives, and that's what I wanted all along. I want more of it though. Just keep it coming. Just keep giving us this objective content, and I will be over the moon. If you have enjoyed today's extremely long, waffly episode of The Road to Glory, hit the like button. Let me know what icon you're going to go for in the comments section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.